When was the last time you felt in control of your business finances? Expenses tracked, invoices sent, taxes ready. That's where Found comes in. Found brings your banking, bookkeeping, invoicing, and taxes together in one simple app. Manage expenses, invoice clients, send payments, and prep for tax time right where you bank. Join the hundreds of thousands who have already streamlined their finances with Found. Open a Found account for free at found.com. That's FOUND.com. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Lead Bank, member FDIC.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
If you've struggled with stress, balance, or burnout, and simply feel discouraged or even defeated, and if you're ready to move from force to flow and enjoy ultimate Zen success in your career, health, or relationships, then the Zen Success Show is for you. Your host, Carissa Sims, is an entrepreneur, corporate consultant, best-selling author, meditation teacher, and healer who has found her own Zen success. Here's your host, Carissa Sims.
Welcome to this week's episode of Zen Success. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Kara Duffy. Hi, Kara.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, it's wonderful to see a fellow podcaster with your podcast mic. Mine's more hidden, but I have it down here. Kara is an entrepreneur, business coach, and consultant who uses her Have It All method to help business owners become extraordinary CEOs and organizations to scale. She has worked with over 100 businesses and brands across the world to show them how business can be more successful, fun, and impactful. Her unique background from streetwear, skateboarding, and saving misfit product categories means she knows how to build something from nothing and where to borrow from the best practices for your unique business. Her other businesses include media company Powerful Ladies, the podcast, and fashion brand Olivet. Welcome, Kara. So happy to connect with you today.
Same. I'm happy to be here.
And did I say the name of your business properly?
You did, yes.
Okay, Olivet. Yeah, such a beautiful name. Would you share your journey to becoming a business consultant, coach, and entrepreneur?
Sure, I'd love to. So on the entrepreneur side, I've been an entrepreneur since I was about 9.
Wow, that's amazing. Did you have entrepreneurial parents?
They did become entrepreneurial in the end, but they were much more open to kind of chasing the adventure that made sense for where they wanted to go. And my dad did that through the corporate world. We moved a lot growing up, and they were very much of the mindset of like, if you want to do something or build something, let's do it. And they just kind of let me, run amok in that sense of organizing babysitters clubs and, neighborhood camps in our backyard and all sorts of things.
That's what you were doing at 9, right?
At 9, yes.
Yeah.
So, and then from there, it just kind of kept going because I always had ideas for projects and things to do. And I still think about businesses that way. They all start as projects, and then we decide where they fit, if we really are committed to this, if we like the actual work behind it, and then it becomes something else. And then as I got older, I hated how much money you made at minimum wage. And so,
okay, what minimum wage job did you have? Let's get into that.
I mean, I've worked at a pizza place, an ice cream parlor. I was a hostess at a restaurant for a very short period of time, but I hated these jobs because I knew I could be making more money doing something that was more in alignment with myself. So very quickly, I would start other businesses.
I see.
Before it was even a thing, I started a home organizing business because at the time I could go from like $7 an hour to 25 and have way more fun, control my hours,
Yeah.
all those things.
Was that in high school? The
High school into
organizing?
college.
High school into college. Okay.
Yeah. But where I'm at now, I spent 20 years in footwear and apparel, working for different global brands,
Yeah.
and I loved it. I had a great time. I was good at it. And I started to get bored. That whisper we all hear of there's something else, there could be more, we're not fully
Yeah.
satisfied. And I started going to professional development conferences. I was at one in particular where Sunday afternoon, we're wrapping up. Everyone in the room is lit up about their purpose, but then also freaking out because now that they knew they wanted to save the whales or foster kids, they didn't know how to do it. And I sat there going, that's the easy part.
You knew how to do it.
Yeah. So I started coaching nonprofits and that quickly moved to for profit.
Okay.
And I've been doing this. I started part time in 2014 and I've been full time since 2018.
Oh, okay. And what got you in the category of footwear and activewear?
I kind of fell into it. I always thought that I would be something in the fashion space and maybe a designer. After I did my MBA, while I was waiting to find the right job, I was going to design school. And it was very refreshing to be, a graduate degree holder and hanging out with like 17-year-olds in these intro classes. And I remember blowing their mind because I knew how to use a PowerPoint. And but I was
You were a
there.
great mentor for them, right?
Yes, I guess when they cared and wanted to listen. But I was there and realizing how little authority the designers had over what things looked like. And I was like, oh, well, then I don't want to be the designer. Like, I want to be the strategic decision maker who's telling the designers what to do. And while I was there, a friend of mine from my field hockey team happened to be working at Stride Right, the kids' footwear company outside Boston. And they brought me in. And it just worked out that I started there. I had been at Victoria's Secret before, even before college. I was working there over the summers, and not at the retail place, but at one of their design headquarters
Yeah, corporate.
and corporate. And I had worked in a lot of other, retail throughout that time, but it just kind of fell into footwear and I loved it. It was also great in contrast to working at Victoria's Secret because you couldn't starve yourself into a shoe size. So the attitudes and approach, it was very less Devil Wears Prada than the apparel side can be.
I see. So you felt like that was a more relaxed environment that
Yeah,
you,
and it was fun because it was the footwear space has a lot to do with the sports categories and a lot of technology and performance. So there's a lot of overlays between art and engineering and the science, working with athletes, working with different collaborators. It was a great time. The footwear business is still one of my favorites.
oh, interesting. So you said Stride Right, and what are some other global brands that you've worked with in the past? Just to toot your own horn and talk about
Um, I was at Reebok, Puma, DC Shoes, Roxy, Quicksilver, Supra. Um, yeah, I got to live in Europe for, when I worked for Puma and travel the world with those companies, which was really great.
it. Yeah. So I guess word got around that you were the go-to for footwear.
Yeah, it's a pretty small industry when
Yeah.
you look at even the whole global landscape, and
Okay.
it's very incestuous. It's very common for people to be jumping between companies, and
Oh,
where Puma and Adidas are located is the same small village in Germany, so people are jumping between those two companies quite often, or dating and marrying between those companies. So it's not uncommon when you start moving through the ranks and building a good CV that recruiters are calling you for opportunities.
yeah, that's great. That's great. So then how did this evolve into your own brand? Did you find a new purpose in your life?
When I look back at what I was doing within those companies, it was very entrepreneurial. I was
Mm.
launching new products, new categories, opening new regions, and there was a lot of freedom within all of those companies that I had to make businesses work. And because of their great organizational systems, I was able to plug into their systems and really just apply the science and the art. And when I moved into coaching people through it, I suddenly, instead of having a category, I had a bunch of clients that were in those same spaces and we were taking the same approach. It was, how do we make it work? How does the math? Does this make sense? And within the fashion space, and especially within streetwear and action sports, there's so many stories to be told. There's a lot of soul that comes within the brand that if we center on it, it allows us to really find a sweet spot. And every time you see a business struggling, that's usually an indicator that they've gotten too far away from the soul component that they've been working with. And it was really great to bring that same approach to these businesses that I was helping, because we were running the whole business inside. So we might be responsible for a couple $100 million within a category, which when you move to working with small and medium-sized businesses can be 10 times plus what they're used to thinking about. And so it's been really fun to take the best practices of some of the best companies in the world and still be able to be creative and only focus on what my clients need based on the phase of their business, the financial status, what success looks like to them, and really create specific plans for them to succeed. As you mentioned, the have it all or have your all method that we work with, it's very much aligned with the concept of Zen success. Like time and time again, the more that we align businesses to the owners, to their leadership teams, to the purpose that's underneath it all, it becomes quite easy to grow a business without all the uphill feeling of effort.
Yeah. And so back to Olivet, did you feel like it lit up your soul when you started this company? And do you have a partner?
I have a business partner for Olivet. So the Kara Duffy Coaching, Consulting, and Powerful Ladies are mine with teams. And then Olivet came about because one of my clients, Olivia Bannock, who's a wedding stylist and fashion content creator, she came to me with this product idea. And it was so good. It didn't exist in the marketplace. I immediately saw opportunity for it. But at the time, I had a rule called don't go into business with your clients. So I went back to
Kind of
my
like dating or
exactly. So I went back to my coach. I'm like, I keep thinking about this. I have so many ideas and I think I want to do it. And she's like, oh, just go back and ask her. And I did. And she goes, oh my gosh, I was hoping you would ask to be involved. And it's just been really beautiful. We're very complementary. We have very like symbiotic working relationships. We share a lot of values. And for me, it's really fun to be working on my own personal product-based business again. I do work with both service and product-based businesses as a coach and consultant. And it's really nice to now have a service, a media, and a product-based business where I can be putting all of my own coaching into action. So my clients see that the advice I'm giving them is not just a bunch of hoo-ha.
Yes, that's amazing. And I really like your philosophy of when you said, when brands aren't doing well, it's usually because they're out of alignment. They've lost the soul of their business. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So did you have something to say about that?
Well, I think we see it happen all the time and we don't realize it's happening. If you ever get the ability to look at a company's org chart, you can start seeing it tipping towards sales and operations being way more headcount than the designer side or the marketing storytelling side. And to me, that's one of the first, that's the canary in the coal mine that maybe something's gone askew. And you start to feel it. There's always that resistance of like, oh, we have to make some compromises to get this big order or get into this account. And I really caution people to be mindful of chasing the revenue and sales opportunities. And they need to check more than just the money box. Like there should be other ROI that you're getting out of this. And it should be, we don't often value the values or the soul component of the long-term storytelling that allow brands to last a long time. even for ones who've been around for a long time, like a Nike,
Hmm.
you can see them kind of having those cycles. And whenever they're in a valley, it's because they've gotten disconnected from that part. And when you see them starting to do it again, everyone's like, "Oh, okay." Like they're back in alignment with where they should be. But it happens all the time, and we've seen it a lot in the action sports space of brands trying to grow way too quickly, getting outside investors or being bought by a big investment firm. And these incredible brands that have amazing stories and amazing athletes, all of that gets stripped away for, what's the million unit thing we can make. And that breaks my heart. Like it's not necessary.
Mm, yeah. And I know this gets more into the sales of product-based businesses, but I was just curious in general, do you think there has been a decline in sales because there seems to be a rise in thrifting and finding name brands like and Poshmark and all of this and and it's almost like a badge of honor. I'm seeing like millennials if they can find these brands at thrift stores or discounted. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, it's definitely split between our different generations. Gen Z, Gen Alpha are much more aligned with looking for thrifted, sustainable products.
Mm.
We don't need more pieces of apparel or footwear created on the planet. We just don't.
Okay, yeah, you just said that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
we don't. And yet, we are seeing some flattening, especially on the luxury side of product-based businesses. But it's really about knowing your market. Like
Mm,
every business is not meant to be $1 billion or 100 million or you name it. And you're seeing a lot more of these storytelling focused brands that are not making 1,000 pieces of every color.
I
They're
see. They're
they're
being
making
more sustainable.
yeah, and it's sustainable in many ways. It's environmental, of course, but it's also thinking sustainably about the longevity of your own business. People are rushing, especially with all these concepts from the tech space of like 10x and be a unicorn. And so often I'm asking clients like, why? Like, it can sound great to get on QVC or on the Today
Hmm.
Show, but often most brands don't have the operational systems or the inventory set up to support that type of attention. So, how can you sell out of everything you've made and be profitable and keep scaling at a consistent, sustainable way
Hmm.
versus rushing towards these financial metrics that can be very shallow, very short term, and really wreak havoc on your inventory and cash flow.
Yeah, that's interesting. To not always think twice before you jump at an opportunity like that because you might not be
Mhm.
ready.
Yeah, and so often the people who think it's going to change their whole world, it might for a month, but then what?
Yes.
So, and like you've probably had to like really cut profit margins to make that happen and spend extra money on shipping. So you can actually be worse off after an opportunity like that than if you had said, no, we're going to keep going with this steady pace and do the work we know to do. There's no quick fix to having a sustainably successful business. And I think if people would accept that and be more realistic about what revenues they can achieve, just breaking through $1 million in revenue is a huge deal for a business.
Hmm.
But you might not even need that in year one to make everything work. So,
Mm.
how can we reset what's enough, when, and why so that you can feel good about it versus always be in chase mode as well, too?
That makes sense. And what about the effect of tariffs? Are you starting to see a desire for manufacturers to have sites on the US or print on demand? Like, are you seeing any trends in that area?
I mean, the roller coaster of tariffs is wreaking havoc across all industries, not just product-based businesses.
Okay.
And it's really impacting medium and small sized businesses because there's not a lot of flexibility usually in the systems that are in place. Anyone who's worked in the production of products and goods knows that the US is not equipped to move 99% of that manufacturing back here.
Yeah, there's
And
no way. The real estate costs alone, I would think.
well, it's even if we remove real estate, there are people, we don't have the machinery here, so we would still need to
Mhm.
import that. Then we don't have people who know how to maintain and upkeep, clean, fix the machines.
Okay,
We
so
don't
we
have
need
skilled
those
workers.
people. And
Exactly. We
then we
don't
need
have,
skilled workers. Okay.
yeah, who are affordable.
Hmm.
And we need people, we need then all the other sub components who can make fabric, who can make labels, who can make
Mm.
string, who can make thread. We've moved systems that have 1,000 different components and parts abroad over the past, what, 100 years at this point.
Uh-huh. Right.
And so there's no way we can bring it all back
Yeah.
at any sort of speed that makes sense to sustain the economy. And
Mhm.
even people who have tried, New Balance has always been making footwear in the US at a very small level.
Okay.
We were looking for Olivet at manufacturing in the US as well. And it would have, the retail price would have been 10x what we're charging right now. So instead of people looking to find solutions in the US, most people are looking to find solutions that are outside of China. And they're going back to multi-sourcing, which is a
Okay.
huge waste of time, huge waste of money,
And
makes
what is
everything more
that
complicated.
multi-sourcing? Like multiple locations?
Yeah, multiple locations, maybe multiple factories. And whenever you multi-source, you again have to take all 1,000 potential steps and find solutions for those everywhere. In Olivet, for example, we're looking at some finishing factories in the US, but then we still need fabrications and trims made abroad. We're looking at different countries abroad for where this we can make things. But every time we're doing that, we're still having to invest time and resources in that multi-sourcing solution because someone has to do the research. Some we're paying for extra bags to be made. It's very cumbersome and honestly, it's a distraction. And
Mm,
it's really frustrating for medium to small size businesses in particular who had systems down, who had flow working, to now they have a whole new other job called replicate this as many times as you can so you're prepared for anything. And it's
yeah.
really unrealistic. What a lot of people are doing is instead of having to change all of their sourcing structures, they're just not selling in the US anymore. They're going directly from, say, China, for example, and going to a 3PL warehouse in Europe. And now they will deliver anywhere except the US.
Oh, I'm so glad I asked you that. I had no idea that companies were doing that, but that's brilliant.
Well, it's like, okay, when you look at where do we make our lives as easy as possible and maintain the
Yeah.
business,
Hmm.
well, if the challenge is the US, then let's not use the US. And I don't think people are thinking about that possibility. Um, and again, right now there's so much fluctuation of like where tariffs will actually shake out.
Yes.
But most of the world knows that we're a global society and economy,
Hmm.
and it would be quite silly to not have your zone of genius within each country.
You're right. I see. I see. Well, thank you for that perspective. I'm
Mhm.
really glad I asked because I was curious about your opinion since you're an expert in this field. Well, what is a way you help global brands and startups get in alignment with their business?
Part of why it's called the, have your all method is because we have to look at everything to really find where we are, you know, wasting our time and money essentially. Because if things aren't in flow, it means that we're doing things or focusing on things that we really shouldn't be. That
Hmm.
can be often I'm cutting about 80% of a client's to-do list out of their business functions and strategy. Sometimes it can be people in the wrong roles or positions or not people not in the right ones, missing an opportunity. It can also be that we've built businesses completely based on what we see our competitors doing, and we've just copy pasted. We didn't think about our life, our values,
Mm,
even the hours that we want to work or who we want to be working with. So I have a lot of
that's
people
true.
who call and say, "Hey, we're successful, but I think I hate this business I've made." Or I don't think I have the right team and we'll never find it. Or I have no work-life balance. There's no boundaries. I'm working all the time.
Hmm.
I should be making 10 times the amount of money if I'm working this hard. And it's true. Like there's a lot of shoulds and coulds that we put into our business that really aren't needed to make the business actually work. And I think people forget about being honest with themselves about who they are, and then also being honest about where their business is in its life cycle. If you're within the first 5 years of your business, you shouldn't have everything that a Nike or a Google has in their structures, which means you also don't need most of the digital marketing spaces. We can really focus it down. I think to give people listening like a really simple takeaway, if you have a business that needs 100 clients or less a year, chances are you can get rid of all of your digital marketing because that should all be a direct selling process of some kind.
Oh, like
And
referral based.
yeah, referral, it might mean that you need a really clear sales pipeline. Like, here's my website, here's a booking link, talk to me. You might want to do more networking, more
Oh,
speaking.
yeah. So you talk to people, like do a speaking engagement or talk to
Mhm.
people on the phone.
Yes. And most people jump right into, I need Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and email and like, ads. And I'm like, why? Like, those are things that are really valuable when we want to talk to strangers. And some of them are really great when we don't need them for sales, but they're more for thought leadership.
Mm,
But 9 times out of 10, I am deleting some form of marketing from someone's plan because it's not going to actually get the ROI that you want.
interesting. I did not expect you to say that in this. I'm like, wow, this is really insightful. Okay, so what is an important component to success to you?
If you're an entrepreneur, you have to spend time getting to know yourself as much as possible. Um, I have like 101 different quizzes and personality things people can do, and I like incorporating everything from your disc profile to your human design to your astrology to your Myers-Briggs. Like, there's so many
Wow,
things.
that's impressive. That's quite a lot of profiles.
Well, it's a lot because it's less for me to know the client, but more for the
Mhm.
client to find the one that resonates with them.
Okay.
And if you don't believe in human design or astrology or disc, then we're not going to use it because you won't be listening in that
Yeah.
space.
But what is disc? I don't know what that is.
Um, you can go online, there's free disc profiles, and each
Okay.
letter stands for a different primary personality type that you have. And it's used a lot in the finance space and very traditional business settings.
I
It's
see.
my least favorite of all of them.
Okay.
But many people have heard it because they might have had to take a disc profile assessment when interviewing
I
for different
see.
jobs.
Okay.
I like Strength Finder a lot because the
Okay.
philosophy is also leaning into your strengths.
Okay.
And that's also what I want business owners and their leadership teams to do. We shouldn't be doing everything. We don't need to do everything within our business. So there's these elements of if you know yourself, your pros and cons, be honest with your neuroses as well. The more you know you, the more we can build an honest, aligned business around you that like you enjoy, the people around you understand what it means. You're attracting dream customers and clients. And suddenly you're in that space where you're like, I'm getting, paid to do what? Like I would do this anyway. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly where your magic is. And it applies to both service and product-based businesses. We spend a lot of time trying to attract everyone and do everything. And the more that we can be selfish about how we build our business and only market to the people we actually want to hang out with, like my rule in my business is I only want clients I would also go on vacation with.
Wow,
It
that's
shifts.
deep. Okay.
Yeah, because, having a drink with them or having dinner, I network so much. I can do that with anybody. Like,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of parallels between business and dating. And so you spend so much time in those spaces. Who do you really want around that table? Who do you really want to be not just giving to, but having them give back to you? It can be your wholesale partners, it can be your vendors, it can be your repeat clients who, are coming back monthly to purchase from you. There's so many options, but I think we don't realize that we can really choose that level of extraordinary in any business that we have.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. How can we have more Zen in our business?
Well, certainly stop doing things that you don't like to do.
Okay, that
I,
makes
you know,
sense.
I do often like an intro session about the Have Your All method, and I talk about how humans, especially in the Western world, use our time. And when you see these charts that, statisticians have put together, and you realize how much time you put into things that you don't actually care about, to me, it's alarming. It's an immediate, okay, we're burning everything down and starting over. Even one, like we spend 10% of our lifetime trying to fall asleep. Like, why? Like, just stop trying to fall asleep. Get up, read a book, go on a walk. And so I think when we're looking at having more Zen in our lives, it starts by really choosing only what we want. There are some parts of a business that have to happen, but anything is delegatable. Anything can be automated. And some things we just delete out of your life and your business because it's not necessary. There's always a way to make your business more Zen, more aligned, more flow. And you have to believe it first. But once you're like, okay, let's figure this out, then it's quite easy for us to build a plan specifically around you and the life you want. We always start with life first, business second. If you're a parent, I've helped somebody grow their business, double their business, and take summers off. If you want to spend, 3 months in a foreign country, we can do that too. Like you can really have whatever you want. And when you start choosing that, it feels a lot more zen than whatever we were doing before.
Yeah, that choice and really becoming aware of how we spend our time. And I'm just curious on a personal level, do you have
Mhm.
kids? Are you in a relationship?
I'm currently pregnant. Yeah.
Like
And
I kind of get the kid vibe, but oh my God, I'm so excited for you.
thank
And
you.
how far along are you?
I'm due in November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, are you going to be surprised?
I'm having a girl.
Oh,
Mhm.
you are having a girl. Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm a mom and I have a girl and a boy. So it's
Love
nice.
that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, someone asked me when I did this talk recently, like, how am I making sure that I'm having a ridiculous and extraordinary life and having my all?
Mm,
And I do think it's something that we come back to on a regular basis because businesses aren't linear, life isn't linear.
hmm
There's things that like we think we've mastered, like we broke through our money story. And then we get to a new level and we're like, no, I thought this was solved. So we have to keep checking back in. I really believe in mid-year check-ins, end of year check-in as we're building a new strategy for the next year. And we have to ask because sometimes the city we live in is fine. And then one day it's not.
Yeah.
And, the same thing happens with relationships and who our team is and our products and services. So I am personally regularly checking back in with myself to make sure that what I've built is what I want.
Mm,
Because for all of us, it's so easy. We build our own hamster wheels, whether we want to or not, when we're starting out.
yes, yes, I can see that. And I would love to hear more about your show, Powerful Ladies,
Mhm.
and what made you want to start it.
When I moved to California from Germany, and I was really missing the incredible friends, especially female friends that I had made there. It was the first time I experienced this like really nice balance of women who were driven in their lives in lots of different ways, but also very oriented towards being intentional and having fun and having more life than work.
Mm. You mean in Germany?
Yes. And it was
Okay.
a very international mix of people. So it
Yeah.
wasn't,
It wasn't,
uh,
yeah. Just because you're in Germany doesn't mean it's all Germans. Yes, I know.
yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and in our bubble too, like between the companies, it was very international, but it was a lot of people with a similar mindset, similar approach of
Mm.
being successful and driven and like checking those boxes professionally, but that wasn't the primary focus. And when I moved to California, I was missing that. I was working in skateboarding and it was a lot of lovely guys,
Uh-huh.
a lot of skateboarding and drinking beer. And I'm like, okay, like this is like 1/10 of who I am. Like, how do I get all that other color back in? And so I had started Powerful Ladies as a 1 day of giving program where I would
Oh,
call women around the world who I thought were powerful and ask them to host an event in their city. And the rules were that it had to be fun, social, and collect a small amount of money that we could pool it all and give it back to women somewhere in the world. And we did this for a couple of years, but every time I would call women and invite them to be a host, more than half would say, I love this, I'm a yes, but I'm not powerful.
oh my God.
Yeah, it made me
It's so
crazy.
funny because I had the same exact thought. I was like, oh, maybe I could be on our show, but I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, and it was like, especially for these women I was calling, I'm like, I've already knighted you. I've chosen you. I've declared that you are. You can't take it back.
Yeah,
Um, and it just made me realize that the way that we view power in women, despite all the progress that we have made, is that we only think women are powerful when they're Oprah, Beyonce, Taylor
that's
Swift.
true.
Like you have
And
to
that's
be,
society's fault, really.
yes, yes. So I really wanted to show that you could be powerful in every phase, at every level of the mountain you're climbing. If we waited until we all climb the mountain, then like we're not powerful till we're dead. Like that's so ridiculous. We're born this way. And I wanted women to see that you don't need to wait to step into your voice, your courage, what you want. Like let's do it now. Like there's a solution for all of it. Like the biggest thing that I know from being a coach and working in business is you can have anything today if you ask for it and do the work to support it.
Mm.
And once whatever dreams people come to me with too, it's only like level one. So we got to get through that because I want people at 10, not a one. And that to me is what Powerful Ladies is. We have been we have over 350 episodes. We've been out since 2019. We have a new episode every Wednesday, but it's showing examples of women who are powerful and incredible and doing things that range from small and insignificant but important to very significant. And these are all real women with all the same challenges and things and thoughts, but there's a level that we can step into today and we don't need to do anything other than claim it. No other action has to be taken. And I'm hoping that people are seeing examples through the podcast of how many different ways you can be powerful.
Mm. That's amazing. Well, I can't wait to listen to some episodes. And would you share about your Take Action Now guides and online courses and the purpose behind them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking at what the value ladder looks like for my own businesses, just like I am for clients. And it's impossible to help everyone all the time at every price point. So we have tools online that allow people to start moving through some of these ideas on their own and make things accessible. Because nothing's more frustrating than knowing you want something or want to, crack something open and people being like, sure, you can have it for the low, low price of $1 million. And you're like, oh, it's so defeating. So we have some different checklists and quizzes and some different downloadable guides that are available at karaduffy.com.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I would highly encourage our audience to check out Kara's website and take these quizzes. And that sounds so inspiring, to be honest. Take action now. So what's next for you?
Well, we're, redesigning the business in ways that allow us to continue helping the people the way we have in all three businesses, while also like readjusting my schedule. We're moving into a lot of group programming, masterminds, some digital things as well. There's so many people that I know could be earning their ideal living doing work they love. And I want to help as many of those people as possible. So how can I do that and be a mom at the same time? That's what we're rebuilding right now.
Yes, exciting to have that journey. Well, it's been such a pleasure connecting with you, Kara, and learning about your business, how you help other businesses, and your podcast, Powerful Ladies. And I'll put your website and how to connect with you in the show notes. But thanks for joining me on the Zen Success Show, Kara.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great.
That's it for today's episode of Zen Success. Head on over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show and share with friends. Be sure to head on over to ZenSuccessShow.com to help you on your Zen success journey. And join us on the next episode. May you find your own Zen success in life.
With the state of today's economy, it's more important than ever to invest in products that last for years to come. As the seasons shift and get cooler, make sure your closet is stocked with durable layers that stand the test of time from American Giant. American Giant's clothes work harder and are wearable season after season. Their greatest hoodie ever made is made from the highest quality materials that are cut and sewn right here in the United States. So you're investing right back in your local community. Choosing American Giant means taking a stand for American manufacturing and hardworking Americans, something other mega corporations don't care about. From fleece to knit, all in a range of colors for versatile daily wear, American Giant delivers everyday pieces designed for everyday life. Feel the difference of quality, made-to-last clothes from American Giant. Get 20% off your first order with code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com with code STAPLE20.